Hi and welcome back to my channel. You guys, if you hear my fan blowing, it's because it is hot. When I'm doing these videos and I have this light blaring on me, it's really hot. So let's jump right on into this week's travel video. You guys know I love talking about travel. So I wanted to share an update with you guys, and that update is that Southwest Airlines is reducing service to Cuba. And if you're like me, you're like, what? No, that can't be right. So Southwest Airlines announced Wednesday that the carrier will focus its future service to Cuba by flying exclusively to Havana and ceasing operations in both Varadero and Santa Clara. The decision will go into effect on September the 4th, so you still have some time. Currently, Southwest serves Havana twice daily, nonstop from Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport, and once daily nonstop from Tampa International Airport. In addition, the airline has applied for a third daily round trip between Fort Lauderdale and Havana with the United States Department of Transportation. For passengers who purchase tickets for flights to Varadero and Santa Clara on September the 5th and beyond, Southwest officials will be reaching out and offering refunds following the changes. So if you've already purchased your tickets for, let's say, October, November, December, Southwest will reach out to you to offer you a refund because, as I just said, they will no longer be going there. Access to Cuba remains important to our South Florida customers, and this shift in focus will answer their continued calls for our low fare value with bags fly free and serving the Cuban capital. And this is a quote that was made by Southwest Airlines Senior Vice President Steve Goldberg. And so he also says that our decision to discontinue the other Cuban flights comes after an in-depth analysis of our performance over several months, which confirmed that there is not a clear path to sustainability serving these markets, particularly with the continuing prohibition in United States law on the tourism to Cuba for American citizens. So while dropping some of the airline service to Cuba is a blow to its impact on the Caribbean Southwest, I'm sorry, let me say that again. While dropping some of the airline service to Cuba is a blow to its impact on the Caribbean, Southwest announced that it will begin service to Turks and Caicos November the 5th, subject to requisite government approvals. So there's something good to look at, you know, for those of you that like to go to Turks and Caicos. I actually know a couple people that do. Now Southwest has, put in a petition to be able to fly there. So you'll be able to fly at a cheaper rate. Southwest now serves a network of 101 destinations in the United States and 9 additional countries with more than 3,900 departures a day during peak travel season. So I would say that Southwest is doing a heck of a job trying to stay on top of things. So don't give up on Southwest just yet. Don't give up on Cuba. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you that's travel related are the 3 big mistakes that people make on their first cruise. And when I saw that, I thought, you know what, this is interesting. So cruising for the first time can be a wonderful experience. It can be an absolutely wonderful experience, but it can also be a nightmare if you make these mistakes. Let's jump right on in. Number 1, not pre-booking your spa services. You have got to pre-book your spa services as far back as you possibly can. We're in July. So if you know that you're going on a cruise, let's say in January, you need to go ahead and book your spa services now, because I promise you they fill up. Because you don't want to get stuck with times that nobody wants, which is typically during the dinner hour, or when they have the shows. Because if you've ever been on a cruise before, and even if you haven't, there are 2 dinner settings, 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, I believe it is. So the 6 o'clock people go to dinner, and then they go see a Broadway show, which has always been absolutely amazing. I've been on 7 cruises, and every time I've gone, the shows have absolutely been amazing every night. So, of course, then while you're in your show, the late setting people are having dinner, and then they go to their show after they eat. But what is being said here is that if you don't book back as far back as possible, you'll end up with those times during dinner time or during when the shows are going on, which is typically times that people don't want. So pre-book as far ahead as you can. Number 2, over or under packing. There's so many things to see and do on a cruise, and you don't want to have too many outfits and you don't want to have too little outfits. Always check with your travel agent. That would be me. And in my notes I said you should have one. If you don't, you need to get you one to see what the ship has to offer. You want to have comfortable clothing. You want to have formal and semi-formal nighttime attire. Remember, shorts are not allowed in the formal dining room, period. You can eat up on the Lido deck in your shorts and tank tops like this shirt that I'm wearing now, but you cannot go into the formal dining room with shorts and tank tops. It's just not allowed. Now, you can go and have dinner in there with, I'm going to say business attire, so maybe you have some khakis and a polo shirt. That's absolutely acceptable. Dinner time, you do want to get a little more dressy with your dress, and there is always one night that's a formal night that you will need formal wear. The men come in their tuxedos, the women in their gowns or beautiful dresses. So, again, if you don't know, that's why you need a travel agent to assist you with that. You will also need your swimwear, workout clothes. Let me put a pin right there. I never go on a cruise and not step foot in that gym, ever. Because you know what? I know I'm going to get my eat on, so I need to get me some exercise in so that I can eat, you know, to the extent possible what I want. And let's not forget about proper shoes. You will need proper shoes. However, you could actually get by with less on a cruise because no one will be paying attention to what you'll be wearing anyway. So if you had one pair of jeans, if you wore those jeans every day with a different shirt, I can pretty much promise you that nobody's going to say, oh, you know what, Clyde had those jeans on 2 days ago. No, they're not, because people are having too much fun, and I'd be willing to bet you that there are some people who do wear the same thing over and over. They just change the top and you would never know it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And number 3, last but certainly not least, overeating at the buffet. I had to put that in here, you guys. Let me tell you something. On my first cruise, I was so excited, honey, when we got to that buffet. I mean, it was just food as far as the eye could see all around the room. Absolutely good food, and I ate until my little heart was content. But let me tell you what happened. By the time I got back to my cabin, I was miserable. You know, sitting down, I was miserable. Laying down, I was miserable. I was just so miserable because I was so full, and I didn't sleep well that night at all. So I learned my lesson. Michelle, don't ever do that again. So you best believe when I went on my second cruise, I did not. I went to the buffet. I acted like I had some sense. I ate just a few things, maybe 1 or 2 hot things, and then, you know, I had some fruit and, you know, maybe a couple of vegetables, but I did not overdo my plate because I realized that that's an awful thing to do because you will be miserable and you just have to wait till that food digests, and it took a very long time to do that. So do not make that mistake. When you go to the buffet, please don't overeat. If you eat upstairs on the Lido deck for your breakfast and lunch, just know it's buffet and you can overeat. So I would encourage you to be very careful about your eating on a ship. Not to mention the fact that you can get room service 24/7. Be careful with that because you can overeat, and like I said, not only will you put on the pounds at the end of that cruise, but you're going to be miserable in the process. So that is all that I have for you guys today. And I just want to encourage you guys, get out there and do some traveling. Y'all get out there and do some traveling. And as you can see, if you're still interested like me in going to Cuba, you still can. Just know that after September the 5th, Southwest is only going to be flying into Havana, not the other 2 airports that I told you about. So you can still go. I think it's a wonderful thing to go and just get to see it firsthand because, like I said, I always tell people I never thought in my lifetime that I would be able to see Cuba. So I encourage you all to go because it's on my radar for 2018, and I'll keep you all posted as I get closer with that. So again, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much to my newest subscribers. Thank you to those of you that continue to support me. I love you guys to the moon and back, and you know I don't say that lightly. Until our next video, I look forward to seeing you in an airport or on a cruise ship somewhere in the world, and if not either one of those, on a beautiful beach somewhere in the world. Until our next travel video, take care.